Okay, good day guys. Part 2 of Lucas's evolution. Um, so this is basically the more recent game where he has improved his skill level quite a bit in my opinion. And we're just going to sort of check out the things that he does significantly different. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit just so that we can try to pay a little bit more attention. So we can see immediately that he hasn't killed 3 sheep. He's keeping his extra sheep far away from the TC so that the vills won't just wander over and eat 2 or 3 of them at once. Um, they are a little bit too far away for like a standard game where the enemy might run past, which boning action could potentially do. Like if a scout runs along past this tree here, they might nick these 2 sheep. See, they're a little bit too far from the TC. Normally what I'd do is like say the sheep's here, the opposite side of the town centre, and then as long as you keep an eye on the villages, they will hopefully not kill too many sheep. Another slight issue, this lumber camp isn't particularly great. It's a little bit too far to this right hand side. Like after those first 4 or 6 trees are chopped, it's going to be quite inefficient. Whereas if it was more in the center, it would work. There'd be a lot more trees close to the lumber camp, I guess I should say. So far he's doing everything pretty standard. We saw he had 6 on sheep, 4 wood, now he's got his boar and he's going to berries. Other than that, he's out scouting, so he's, I guess, learnt a standard build order pretty well. He's playing Spanish, so I do know what happens in this game, and it's quite unexpected. He's going to do something you wouldn't normally expect from a Spanish player, is I guess how I would say it. He's a little bit late on his boar lure for his second boar, and this villager here is blocked in and is unable to drop off. So at this point in time, he essentially has 3 villagers on wood and 1 idle villager. And he's going to be stuck there until this tree finishes being eaten, or chopped down I should say, or until Lucas notices and moves the vill to a different tree. So, there are the second ball coming in. That's something that you should always try to look out for by just checking your lumber camp every 10, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. Just to make sure that he doesn't bug out like that. Second ball, very nice, got onto the TC a little bit late, so he killed an extra sheep. But that's not too horrible. His mill's in a pretty good position. I probably would have put it in that little L shape there, but it still works. And he's got a second lumber camp going, he's got a farm. And it looks like he hasn't got too much idle time. He's got a lot of vills queued up though. No, okay, there we go, I cancelled it. He's going for 23 pops, so he could be doing an archer build. Hint hint, could be doing an archer build. A Spanish. There, and he's up on 23 pops. He's got a little bit of idle time, about a minute or so. But it isn't absolutely horrible, and compared to the other game where he was about 2.5 minutes late up to castle age, this is a lot better. His scouting is a little bit unfortunate now. Just missing the enemy somewhere. We found a cliff, so the enemy probably isn't right there, but I'm guessing he'll go see them in a minute. Now, for an Archer Rush build, he is very late onto gold. I'll link to my Archer tutorial as well if anyone is interested. But this is very late to go on gold, but he'll find a way to make it work, I reckon. And this mining camp is just absolutely horrible. You've got 2 mines of gold, which are okay to mine. And then everything else is just really far away. And he's just run into the enemy TC, which is a little bit unlucky. Not much he can do about it. But this mining camp would be best on these 4 tiles here, because then you can mine all 4 of those with villagers not having to walk a lot. Or putting it on these 4 here, just in there, so you can mine that one, and then sort of wander in towards those ones a little bit later. Otherwise, I've got the archery rangers coming up, making 1 archer and another archer, queuing villagers. Let's just quickly check the eco upgrades. No double bit axe or horse collar yet. That is a little bit unfortunate. Got a lot of vills on gold now, so he should be fine to keep making archers. Oh, and now he is housed. Something just got researched. What was that? Nope, still no eco upgrades. That was fletching. That's a very interesting decision, doing fletching before eco upgrades. So again, we can still see that Lucas has things that he needs to work on. But it's significantly better than the last game, in my opinion. And as the game gets further in, which we're going to fast forward a little bit to try to get to a bit faster, we'll see how much better he plays. So we can see he's starting to float a bit of wood, but he's counteracting that a little bit by tracking down some farms. And he's heading out with his archers. Ooh, but red is already here with skirms and archers. It's a little bit unfortunate. Good timing there. But he runs away. Versus an archer rush, which is what Lukas is doing. Let me just slow down a little bit to talk about this. You want to deny their wood line and their gold mine as your priorities. Because if they don't have gold, they can't make archers. Like this here, this is a very good raid. And if you deny their wood line, they can't make archers, they can't make farms, blah 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 blah. Okay? So those are your two priorities. Now, we think that Lukas has 700 wood, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it does mean that if he does get denied of one of his wood lines, it won't be too horrendous for him. And he's just decided to Vilbash the enemy army, which is a good decision, because we've got skirmishers here with no upgrades. So they do 1 damage per shot versus villagers. So without any archers mixed in, they die really badly to villagers. Like, they'll still counter these archers extremely well. But since he's got fletching and the armor upgrade, he should be pretty good in low number fights. And he's picking up a lot of villagers for red. So a couple on the wood line, a couple on gold here. And he's done a decent job keeping himself ahead on vills while also having a decent sized army. And here we see, and look, even with the minimum range of the skirmishers, they just can't attack the villagers once they get close. So there isn't really much you can do with full skirms versus villagers unless you have like 40 skirms. Oh, that is unlucky. That is unlucky. Gaia for the win, right? Okay, we see now he's starting to build quite a lot of farms. He's still got a lot of wood in the bank, which you can't really do too much about at this stage of the game. Because that's a, what's the word? A flaw that's followed on from the fact he had a lot on wood really early. And so it's just sort of stacked up over time. And wow, another Wolf MVP getting another villager there. So we've got 1k wood. If I was him, I'd be chucking up a market right now and selling wood, buying food, going up to Castle Age. And maybe switching out of archers, seeing as Spain don't get crossbows. Scouts, even feudal age scouts, would be a brilliant decision at this point, seeing as red is full skirmishers. 3 scouts would pretty much kill that entire army. And look, we can see mass skirmishers do kill villagers, they just take a long time to do it. But Lukas, he's up to Castle Age. He's kind of maybe protected a little bit. Got this weird house wall going on that just funnels the enemy into his wood line, but it keeps his farms safe, which is what he wants at the moment. He's dropping stables, so he's going to go for knights. I expect he's going to sell wood for gold to make a couple of knights, because at the moment he can only afford to make 2 knights. But I guess 2 knights is probably enough to kill all these skirms. What's he doing? Let's just fast forward to the aging up process, because there's still just odd villagers getting picked off here and there. Ooh, wait, second. Lukas's pop 43 at the moment. Mr. Boney over here, 61. Okay, that is quite significant. But most of Boney's pop is military. He's got, what, almost 30, so he's about 30 bills. Lukas over here is 43. Okay, so he's about 5 bills ahead Lukas is, even though he's really far behind in terms of the raiding done. He killed villagers, but Red's, I think, done a lot more harassment. But he's just worked a lot harder on making sure his TC is working constantly. Alright, so yeah, we've got 2 knights coming out, and they're just going to absolutely rip through these skirmishes. It's just going to be a complete massacre. Well, look, even that villager getting in there with 2 health. And then all this time, these villagers, they're gathering more gold, allowing Lukas to make more knights and continue killing off all these skirms. Oh, the villager died. Heroville. See, look at that. That's 1 unit's dead, and he's killed about 20 skirms. Like, that is a massively good unit trade. So he's going with the knights. Boney should be at this stage spamming spearmen and walls, because feudal age, his army can't do anything against these knights. He got a nice little choke point there, which will definitely help him fighting versus the knights, but he's just... Lukas is just running past that, and he's decided, no, I don't want to deal with that at the moment. Or maybe he does. I Red shouldn't have run away from that. He was in a very strong position there. But there we can see the mass BMs coming in, but the Knights, they're just running all over the place using their speed to hit wherever Red's army isn't. Still with the skirms being killed by the Knights, and at home, what's Lukas doing? Making lots of ills, making lots and lots of Knights. He's mainly concentrating on army at this stage, which I think is the better choice for him, because he got to Castle Age a little bit faster, but he was slightly behind early to begin with. So I think just trying to boom back into the game would have been a pretty bad mistake. But here with these Knights, he can use his superior army to try to kill off Red quite quickly, which we can see he's doing. Red's got, I think, barely any army left at this stage. Yeah, he's got a handful of pikemen. The Knights are coming in. More Knights coming in. That's a siege workshop coming in. And Red's saying that was horrible. I actually think Red played quite well in that game. He just made a few mistakes, mostly in how he was raiding. Had his skirm sort of just chilling here for the whole time. He should have brought another army around to attack the other side of Lucas's base. Otherwise, okay, we've got the ram coming in and lots of Knights. Okay, so that was actually really, really quick. But we can see that Lukas is... It is a slightly different game style, playing on Arena versus playing Arabia. But especially in that dark and early feudal stage, Lukas made a lot fewer mistakes. Like, he had less idle time in his town center. He had better distribution of his villages early. So yes, he was still floating quite a bit of wood, but it could have been a whole lot worse. Like, if he'd been floating lots and lots of gold and lots of wood while he was doing Spain, that would be a little bit of a problem. Once he gets to Castle Age, obviously he can't really make crossbows because Spain don't get them. And then that would just lead into more problems. But floating a little bit of wood isn't too bad because you can just chuck up farms, which you're going to do anyway because you're going to switch to Knights. And Lukas just played that quite a bit better. I'm hoping to source more recorded games from Lukas, and we're just going to try to like watch a recorded game every couple of weeks and just see how he keeps progressing with his gameplay. And I hope you guys think this is, I guess, enjoyable. Seeing how players just kind of improve through watching new things. Yeah, so Lukas has been doing Archer Rush quite a lot after seeing the Archer Flush tutorial. So this is a practical demonstration of that by I'd say a mid 1700 Steam player. So he's pretty much gained 100 rating in the 2 months since the first game was played. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. You know, do the usual stuff, like and subscribe, and give me all your money and all those sort of things. Or don't if you don't want to, or do, or don't, whatever. And if you have any suggestions for things you'd like me to do, I made a thread on Reddit, and there was quite a lot of good suggestions, especially the most recent post that I remember. I can't remember who wrote it, but it was a big wall of text and a lot of good things. So if you guys have any suggestions on things like more tutorials, more of these new player analysis, just anything really, just feel free to let me know. Okay, thank you and goodbye.